Hi, my name is Natalie Oestreich, and I want to go to UTC camp.
And if a sucker try to block you, get your 9 home. And what I heard you gotta do to be a man now. Stand up for yourself, so I took it in my hands now. And that's the problem, man, we busy trying to solve it. All the while we walking dead, man, somebody bring the coffin. Boy, drop peach fuzz, now you think that you a man. Cause you feeling yourself, you need to man up.
I decided to make this video instead of writing letters to everybody because I thought that this would be the most effective way to reach out to my family and my friends and anyone else who's watching this video. I'm asking for prayers, for donations, for anything that you think your heart feels that I need before I go to UTC camp. And I think that this video will really show the testimony that I have and the reasons why I want to go to UTC camp and why it means so much to me as just a person and an athlete. I honestly would not be where I am and how I look at life if it wasn't for my cousin Nicole and how she led me to youth group in high school. In these youth groups, I found that they were more connecting instead of just big churches. It's just most of those things that talked about in church, like big church, I didn't really relate to, and I felt that when I went to youth group, that's when I really could understand and connect to everything, and I could make sense of why everything's going on in my life and what plan God has.
It's easy to say, like, you know, I run for God or whatever, but it's like, what does that look like? I don't know what that looks like.
I'm going in with pretty much an open mind and open heart.
I feel a lot of athletes play their sport for the wrong reasons. It's easy to get sucked into what the world thinks. And it's really easy to do it for selfish reasons and for your own glory.
I'm starting to realize that playing for God is way better than playing for anybody else because it'd be much easier than trying to look out for girls, friends, people trying to come up to you, people wanting autographs.
So my sophomore year was pretty bland. Nothing really changed. I was still skeptical, but I was still, I knew who God was, so I wasn't like, he's wrong, but I was more of like, why do I need a relationship with him? And then junior year, I really loved winter retreat. I just loved the worshiping. I loved how close we got. And so junior year, I decided to go again. So you could pick different workshops you wanted to go to. And one of the ones that I picked was the quiet time. And in this quiet time, I just prayed. I said, God, whatever happens, I just want to know that you're here and that you're listening to me. And you're allowed to walk outside if you wanted to. So I felt this urge to get up, So I go outside. I start walking down this hill, and I am not exaggerating at all. A gust of wind hit me from the side, and it hit me so hard that I had to look. And to my right, I saw this pathway. It was in between these trees, and I thought that would be a pretty cool spot, God made nature. That would be pretty cool to kind of like get myself in nature and just talk to him. So I started walking towards this pathway, and a gust of wind hit me again, and it's so coincidental, but it did. It hit me again, and I look to my right, and I just see this mud, and I see footprints in the mud, like someone had walked up further this path. So I started walking, and I got to the very top, and when I got to the very top, the gust of wind had gotten a lot stronger and a lot more violent. I just felt like I was being attacked by the wind. It was kind of weird, and I didn't like it. And for some reason, in me, I felt like I just needed to scream. And I started thinking of, like I just said, the SAT competitions. I felt like I just needed to scream it off and just give it all to God. And at that moment, I just screamed, I believe in you, God. I need you to help me. And I screamed that as loud as I could. And the minute that I said, help me, the wind just stopped. It was just silent. I looked out in the valley, and I realized how beautiful the landscape was. And I realized that there was a blue sky, and I actually loved the nature. I just loved it. And I couldn't get over how beautiful this was. And I just thought, it just went from complete chaos to the minute I asked God to say, help me, it went peaceful. And I really just thought that spiritually of maybe this was my sign saying that here's my life now of how chaotic of me trying to control it. And if I just give it to God, no matter what happens, that's what's supposed to happen.
A lot of the times athletes will pray before a big game or maybe they'll meet after the game and pray, or maybe have a pregame chapel, and all those things are important. But what does it really look like as an athlete to honor him, to glorify him, to worship him in the midst of your competition?
Bam.
Bam. After that God moment, I realized that I really do want a relationship with God, because that's the way for me that I think I can become more peaceful and more positive. As I went back, I realized my junior year that I didn't go on this mission trip that the juniors and seniors could go on. It's called the Mexico mission trip. And before that, they had workshops over the summer, and I wasn't confirmed either. And so I felt like I missed a lot of opportunities. So I thought, you know what, God, I'm going to really show you that I want this. And I'm going to go my senior year to Mexico, and I'm going to do this mission trip. The day before we flew out, I got sick, and I didn't go on the mission trip. And I didn't know why. I was really upset, because I felt like up until that point, I had missed so many opportunities to share my love of God to everybody else. I really wanted to be so vulnerable where I could really see the light that I have for God. And so then I went to college. As I went to AIA, they kept mentioning Athletes in Action here. They kept mentioning UTC camp, this ultimate training camp in the summer. And I talked to my parents about that, saying that I should wait till next year. And then every week they kept talking about it, and for some reason I kept feeling like I wanted to go to Colorado. If I really want to go on this camp, I need to do it now, because who knows what will happen next year. That's why I made this video, because I wanted to share that I have missed so many opportunities before, and my love for Christ has only been stronger now than it has before.
Christian athletes should be the hardest working athletes on the planet.
Yeah.
We need to break down core stereotypes of Christian athletes and put them in a very competitive environment, and that's why we do this special. It's been the one thing that the athletes have said, it's been the hardest, but the best thing that we've ever done to help them apply God's word to their sport.
Yeah, the special's crazy. It's an animal.
Turn the music up inside my session. These folks gotta hear my message. You put that beat on, I beat on this track to relieve my stressing. I see